It's Mechanical Monday. Time to press the gas, go fast, and make it last. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about how to change a tire. And before you click off the video, this is for someone who's first learning how to and someone who's been around for years and knows how to. Alright, and I found these tips incredibly helpful because even as a veteran, when it comes to taking tires off and fixing flats, things like that, I still make mistakes. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a jack. If you're on the side of the road, use the one that the car provides. It's probably a scissor jack. You just stick the rod in there and twist it. Pretty simple. But today I have my good jack because I don't want to be sitting here and editing 36 minutes of me trying to scissor up a car. You're also going to need this bad boy. Tire iron, lug nut extractor, lug nut wrench, whatever you want to call it. It's got to have the lug nut. And if bonus points if you get it from the car, then you know it's going to match up with the lugs. So, first thing you want to do is you want to come over here. You want to put the wrench on and you want to loosen. I've already started loosening these because of the fact that I knew this was going to be tough because this car is sat for well over a year now, so it's got nothing but rust on it. So while I'm loosening this, let's talk about why you take the lug nuts off of the car while it's sitting down. Because if you try to do this, you hear all that? It's a lot of rust getting in there. If you try to do this while the car is in the air, your tire is going to spin. You're not going to get the lug nuts off. I'm just going to jack the car up, take this wheel off, put it back on, just for viewer's sake. The other side does have a flat, so this is something I will be having to do once we sell it. We are selling this car, mainly because it doesn't run, and two, because I can't really get too much more content out of it. There's no need for it. Black. So, once you get the lugs off, we're going to talk about a jacking point on the car. So you want to find a hard piece of metal that's not your oil pan. You do not want to go through the floorboard. You don't want to take out the oil pan. Take your lug nuts, either stick in your pocket. I'm going to put them over here with the lug nut wrench so I don't lose them. So this part is going to require you to get underneath. And you want to go, usually there's a mounting point, I'd say like right about here. This car might be a little bit different, but you want to go as close to the tire. You don't want to be jacking the car all the way over here. You're not going to get it lifted up anywhere. I don't have jack stands that'll fit underneath this car, which I should probably invest in getting smaller ones because the ones I have are huge. So the e-brake is on, so it's not going to roll on me. It's in park, everything's fine. We're on an incline, so just be mindful of all of that. If you're going to jack up the car and you don't have jack stands, well, if you're going to jack up the car, put the e-brake on so that way it doesn't roll on you. That's probably the biggest tip. Also, don't feel afraid to knock around and see what's really going on here. There we go. Alright, now that we found our jacking point, now simply jack until the tire's off of the ground. So after a few couple twists, you realize what's going to work and what's not. Obviously the piece that I chose isn't lifting the tire off the ground, so we've got to go a little closer. Which, again, this is something that's going to take time. It's going to be a learning curve, especially if you're first starting off. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to look stupid. Things happen. Alright, so that's working, so I'm just gonna... There you go. So as you can see, this tire, this wheel, is now gonna come off, okay? So, look at, there's a resounding tire mark just sitting there now. So if this was flat, there's two ways of going about fixing a flat. You can either use fix a flat in a can, I don't recommend, or you could swap on your donut if you've got short distance to travel, get it to a shop, they'll take care of it. If you have an all-wheel drive like my Subaru, you need to change all 4 tires. If it's a car like this, you might be able to get away with changing 1 tire, but I'd say at least change 2 and put the new tires on the front and leave the bad ones in the rears. Because the front is going to change. So if you have bad tires in the front, you're not going to be able to steer correctly. Whereas the back, it's just going forward or backwards. You don't really need all of the traction, things like that. So once you got it off, you grab your new tire, line it up. You take your lug nuts, I'm just gonna get these started. You wanna go in a cross pattern. The reason you do that is so that way it's evenly against there, especially if you're not planning on using a torque wrench to torque down the wheels to spec. I know any mechanic right now is laughing at that joke because people will just ugga-dugga with the impact. But get it started. You know, you want it to be as flush as possible, so then you'll come over here. Honestly, it's not hard, but if you know these tips and tricks, it'll save your life. If you're on the side of the road, don't be afraid to use caution cones or have somebody direct traffic so you don't get clouded through when you're trying to change it. Also, pull off as far as you can off the side of the road. You don't want to be in the middle of the road trying to change the tire. So I'm going to tighten these bad boys up. And that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope that you guys learned something, and I hope that you guys understand safety is the #1 priority when you do anything. Jacking it up, you brake on. If you're in the middle of the road, make sure you have caution or somebody waving traffic, you know, things like that. Also loosen the lug nuts when the car is down and tighten them. You can tighten them when it's up, but it's going to spin on you, so just be aware of that. And that's my tips and tricks for how to change a tire. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Also, if you haven't already, join my Twitch channel, follow it, interact with me over there. I stream every Mondays and Thursdays from 7 to 8. And until the next one, we'll see you there.